Hello and welcome to JamHammer. In this video, we're going to be looking at the contents of the second season box set for Blood Bowl, as well as assembling some of the great looking miniatures that are included with this kit. I've never played Blood Bowl myself, but this set caught my eye when it was released, and after seeing it on offer recently, decided to pick it up and give it a go. I'd also heard reports that this is one of the finest games that Games Workshop have ever released, so that sealed the deal. Looking at the box, and it's a really striking design with these bold graphics that actually make it look like it's officially licensed merchandise from the world of Blood Bowl itself. It feels glossy and sturdy too, and will likely do well at preserving the contents for years to come. Cracking the box open, and we're met with a lot of multicoloured plastic. I'm used to seeing swaths of grey sprues when opening these boxes, so this is really something. Looking around the edges of the box first, we can see the various players we can assemble, as well as the appropriate colour schemes for their teams that we'll, hopefully, try to replicate. So plenty of sprues to go through here, and it looks like we quite understandably have the greenskins in green plastic. There's a very hefty feel to these sprues, as the orcs in particular seem to be quite chunky minis on the tabletop, and there's plenty packed in here, from body parts to extras for playing the game, like counters, coins and balls. Noticing a few more heads than there are bodies here too, so that may mean that we have some customization options when we assemble these later. The red plastic contains the human team, and again, lots packed in here with some suitably themed accessories on these sprues too. We have two duplicated sprues in green and red, so there will be some repeated miniatures with each of these teams. Looking at one of these smaller sprues for the Black Orc team, and it looks like it's for our star player, Vagrak Ghoul Chewer. You can see the ghoul skewered on his armour there, lovely. And on this other one, it looks like the other half of the components for Varag. These other two small green sprues then have the parts to assemble the big guy for this team, which is a trained troll who looks like he's hugging some poor gobbo with the ball downfield. Just the one small red sprue for the Imperial Nobility team star player, Griff Oberwald, and my goodness, there's a lot of fiddly looking little feathery bits for this one. Only the one sprue for the humans big guy too, which is an ogre that's going to help tackle a few of those beefy looking orcs, or keep that troll in check. Got a blue sprue here as well, and these are the Bice refs, so a dwarf and an elf, that are some great grumpy looking sculpts that really help to add flavour to this tongue-in-cheek game. Down to the last sprue now, this silver one, which contains these very chunky accessories. It's great to see that games still feature these, as they add a little more complexity, and it really takes me back to early Warhammer that featured so many of these templates. And we've got a paper cover here that has the same image from the front of the box. So just moving that aside, and we've got some extra accessories and books underneath. These are the bases for the minis. Only look to be one standard size that fits inside the squares on the gridiron, so the goblins might look a little bit lost on this, and that troll might be a bit snug. All of these bases feature slots for the mini's feet, as well as a little hole that must be for the ball to sit in when someone has possession. Got some dice next, and again we have red and green for the humans and orcs respectively. Looks like we have beyond standard 6-sided dice in here too, which again is great to see, as it means we'll have some custom rules for greater immersion. Let's have a closer look, and there are two D6, which feature the Blood Bowl logo instead of 6, as well as 3 of these specialist block dice with various symbols, which I'm sure will become apparent once we start playing the game. There's also a D8 and a D16 too. Great to see a few cheat sheets here that are literally called cheat sheets. So we don't have to keep flicking back and forth through the rulebook. Nice, thick, glossy card. And just noticed that they have the rules for each team's players too. So there's a bespoke one for the Black Orc team, and another for the Imperial Nobility team. That's great to see, as so many games, looking at you, Kill Team 2nd Edition, don't include these handy additions with the box set, and don't even feature an index at the back. We have a paper insert here with instructions on how to assemble the included players. Not seeing blitzers though, and it did say on the description that they were included. So after a bit of research online, this is a typo in the instructions. It says Imperial Lineman here, but this player with the 4 feathers is actually an Imperial Blitzer. And we have the instructions for the Orcs and Goblins too. Yeah, and they do seem to have alternative heads as well, so no completely similar minis on this team, but unfortunately all the humans will have exact replicas. The rulebook now, and wow, this is amazing quality. It's a thick hardback cover, which even comes with a ribbon for keeping your place. Excellent quality printing, and loads of quirky and detailed pieces of artwork throughout that are so in keeping with the theme of this game. We've got this large packet here too, and a sheet of transfers underneath it. Neat. Let's unwrap this, and there are a few cardboard inserts too, which look to be the dugouts for the teams. These are double-sided, so one side for the grassy pitch, and another for the dungeon-looking pitch. Nice clear layout, with all the necessary info to keep track of the game, and even a few bits of thematic fluff too. Unfolding this board now, and it is huge. It's too big to fit all this in frame, but it's very thick cardboard, with a detailed print on either side featuring the Imperial Nobility's grassy pitch, and the Black Orc's very painful looking flagstoned one. Laying everything out from this box, and it really is packed with goodies. Book, dice, templates, board, and of course, loads of models to assemble, which we'll take a look at now. Going to quickly run through assembling a few of the minis here, just to see how easy they are to put together and how useful the included instructions are. Starting off with this Imperial Lineman, and it looks as though all of the necessary components are in one place on the sprue. This is really useful, especially at this early stage in assembling, when the sprues are full of bits, as we don't have to go searching through all the sections trying to find that missing hand or something. Going to clip these from the sprue then, and for this player there's not a lot to assemble. Got back, chest, head, and hands. Just notice though that the feet don't have pegs, and the included bases have slots. So these bits on the mini's feet are parts of the sprue that I've just not clipped away yet. This is a bit annoying, as this means we'll have to find a way to fill these now, or put something over them so that our bases don't have huge gaps running through them. Just scraping some of the flash from the mini now with the back of my scalpel. I'll leave links to this box set, as well as the tools I'm using in the description below if you're interested in picking any of these up for yourself. Got these components clean now, so just going to glue them together with polystyrene cement. Bit further down the line now with assembly, and you can see a bit clearer that each player is in their own section with their components. The Imperial Nobility team then are fairly easy to assemble, clearly laid out, and nothing too vague in the instructions or fiddly to assemble. Except for Griff Oberwald. This bloody diva was very fiddly, with the eagle so precariously propped on a tiny flap of plastic along one glove, as well as the instructions saying to assemble the helmet first, then popping it on the back of the head. Don't do this. The helmet actually fits around the head, so this chin strap fits together. Luckily, I noticed this before the glue had completely dried and prized them apart, but it was a close one. Onto the Orc sprues, and unfortunately these aren't so clear. So this is the first Goblin Lineman I'm assembling, and the parts come from all over the sprue, so it takes a bit of a while to get all the correct parts together. But this will become easier the more that are assembled. We can see the same for this Orc that I'm assembling next, with the components coming from all over. But the instructions from then on are mostly clear, and they tell you which parts you'll need if you're using the alternative heads for this unit like I'm doing with this one. Although an arrow pointing at these horns and this helmet left me a bit confused as to where they go. I had to move these around a lot on this Orc, and in the end referred to the picture on the box to make sure this looked right. There are a few instances where alignment is a bit vague, so I did find myself referring to the pictures on the box quite a lot to ensure that bits of armour or legs were pointed in the right direction for both teams. Cleaned the flash off these with the back of that scalpel too. Not too much to take off except the usual line that's running around the midpoint where they've been removed from the mould. And just going to assemble these with a bit of polystyrene cement again. Also wanted to point out that these orcs have a lot of pointy bits, and some of them are actually sharp, so be careful when applying pressure to glue these together. And there we go, one mean looking orc ready for tackling some oomies. I've had to leave these prone for the time being though, while I think of a good solution to the slaughter bases issue. Overall then, I'm really pleased with my purchase here. It's great to see games like this that contain everything you need to play in one box, so there's no additional bolt-ons like terrain, tables, accessories, or books. Looking at you again, Kill Team 2nd Edition. And new players such as myself can get straight into it. Thank you so much for watching this video, I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider liking it, subscribing to the channel, and clicking the bell to be notified of new videos being released. There's so much content that you're getting in this box that'll keep you entertained for hours. After spending some more time with this, the book is a great read with some hilarious lore to begin with, and then going into some real detail about how to move your players, all the way down to what the weather's doing, and how the ball moves through the air. I've played a few practice games with this set too, and the cheat sheets and the book have answered most of my questions. I've only had to refer to the internet on a handful of times when something truly odd has happened. And that will happen. This game has some spectacular moments where a goblin is flung through the air, somersaults to their feet, and pelts downfield, clutching the ball for a glorious touchdown while the humans look on aghast. And hilarious ones too, where my finest Imperial thrower managed to trip up over their own shoelaces chasing after the ball, and wound up faceplanting so hard that they missed the rest of the game. There'll be more content coming out about Blood Bowl soon, so keep an eye out for more videos coming soon to JamHammer. In the meantime, there are plenty of other videos available on the channel, including a few that are on screen now that you can check out. Thanks again for watching.